Well, good morning. Welcome to Still Up with 6. The conversation continues just when you guys thought you'd gotten rid of us. We are here for a couple minutes after the show to talk about kind of the big things that are happening online right now. And the big talker this morning, certainly here in Texas, is the Houston Astros. A cheating scandal that has plagued Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show this morning. We were asking if we think that if the Astros should forfeit their 2017 World Series title following that report that has led to the GM and the manager being fired, a $5 million fine, as well as them losing their first and second round picks in the draft for the next 2 years.
Yeah, so some major implications. So we're asking you guys at home, do you think that they should lose their title as well? Of course, the whole deal with this is, if you don't know what's going on, they had a center field camera which would then show what the different pitcher types are. Then a signal would be sent using some kind of bat, and they would be able to know what kind of pitches were coming in. That was found out. Now the Red Sox also under investigation because that same manager who started that scheme, Alex Cora, managed the Red Sox. Of course, they won the year after, so people are starting to think, is there a trend here?
Yeah, it's a really sad thing to see, especially when it is a team that you do follow. Of course, you mentioned 2017 was such a big year for Houston, not just winning the World Series, but of course devastated by Hurricane Harvey. And what that meant for them winning that MLB World Series title was kind of hope after such a dark and tough time for the city. And so it's really interesting. The thing about stripping them of their title or even having them forfeit it themselves is, what's the point? I think that's what Zach and Jim brought to our attention is, what would that change?
Yeah, I don't think stripping the title is the right way to go. I mean, of course, people might, there's nothing wrong with having in the record books an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
But, it's always going to be a title that's going to be marred with scandal now that this investigation has uncovered some of the things that it has. But I don't think going back and retroactively changing the past is going to do anything. It's not going to, they're not going to give it to the second place team.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And I don't think any second place team, respectively, would want that.
Well, here's the thing, after leading up to this and this new report, even if there was a second team who would get it, I mean, that would have changed the entire season if they were cheating and having those signals and stuff like that. That changed the whole season as a whole. So, I don't know. I don't think that there's a point in going back in time. I think it's more about focusing on the future now of the MLB, continuing to do their investigation to the Red Sox, see what comes of that, and of course, just sticking to the game and being honest. I mean, why do we have to cheat?
Well, yeah, I mean, but and someone pointed out on our Facebook page, and this might be a point of discussion as well, certainly in the sporting world, that a lot of things that we don't know are happening in professional sports to gain an advantage are happening, whether they're uncovered or not. So a lot of people might point, hey, there's teams that do these types of things all the time. The Houston Astros just maybe did it on a bigger level and then got found out, and that could be true as well. We don't know the inner workings of how professional sports organizations work, but certainly some tough news. I see a lot of people on social media, they're like, I feel very conflicted about this. You know what I mean? That 2017 title meant a lot to me. Now I don't know what to think. Yeah,
it is a sad situation. So weigh in if you guys think that they should forfeit the title. I'm going to go ahead and vote no. There's no point in going and looking toward the past. It's all about the future now and making sure this doesn't happen moving forward. Dating terms of 2020. Let's talk about this story right now because
it's always good to get up to speed on the latest terms the young people are using these days. And I know that a lot of you out there are rolling your eyes when I say young people, but I'm telling you, I get lost in the new rhetoric as much as you do.
Here's the thing. I looked at this list and I don't know what any of these words mean.
Let's run through a couple of them.
All right. Let's go with the first one.
This is dial toning. So this is when you give someone your number, they reach out, and you never reply.
Okay.
Dial
toning.
Does that also kind of give them the wrong number? I've given some wrong numbers out before.
You have?
I've given some wrong numbers out before. Well, if you're in a tough situation.
Why don't you just say no?
Well, that's a very uncomfortable situation to be in.
I guess that's also true. Okay, so let's see. Next one. Yellow carding. Have you ever heard of this?
I've never heard of this. What's this?
So when you call out a date for bad behavior, a questionable view, or general rudeness. So let's say you're on your first date, you met through a mutual friend, we're set up, and all of a sudden, he's yelling at the waiter or something. I don't know.
I don't think this is a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. And you bring up a perfect example. I can't stand when people are rude to waitstaff. And if I was on a first date and the date was being rude, I would call them out, and that would be the yellow card. Now, if you bring an actual yellow card, like in soccer, that would be a good dating move.
Okay, next one. Here it is. White clawing. Do you know what this is?
No, I don't know what any of these are.
Staying with someone who you find very attractive but otherwise simple or boring. So maybe going the shallow way and just staying with someone.
A surface relationship. You like how they look, but not how they sound.
White clawing. Oh, White claws, aren't those the little drinks?
Those are the seltzers.
Yeah.
Is that a rude thing to the seltzer?
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, glamboozled? When you get ready, only to get a text from your date asking to cancel or reschedule. Oh, that's called being stood up.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
So you're all ready. You've got your outfit that you've picked out.
Glamboozled.
At that point, you got to gather up your friends and go out anyways. That outfit can't go to a waste. Flea bagging, consistently dating the wrong type of person for you. I think there's plenty of people out there that are guilty of this. Keep going back to the wrong guy, the wrong type of girl.
Yeah, and this last one is cosplaying, where a former date contacts you well after the fact to ask you for an unrelated favor. Who does this?
I bet there's some attorneys out there that might have had experience with this. Some legal advice, maybe way after the fact, unrelated to your date.
That is yeah. Or like maybe you went on a date with a doctor, all of a sudden you're sick and need medical advice. That's a no. Don't do that. I can't believe I don't know any of these terms, honestly.
But now
I've
you
never
do,
even
and that's
heard
what we're
of them.
doing here on Still Up with 6, is teaching the people at home what's going on, and we're learning in the process as well.
That's right. Okay, so this new this study, according to a survey, 19% of Americans have lied about working out.
What's the point?
Well, they're saying it's to convince someone else that they were busy, maybe even, here it is, 37% convinced someone that they're busy, 35% are hoping to impress someone, and 31% embarrassed by what they were actually doing, which is
what were you up to that you're like, oh, I was just working out?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever lied about working out? Maybe
No.
to a family member or a friend to avoid a phone call?
Let me see. No. And I like to post my workouts. I think it keeps me motivated and encouraged to be working out. But no, I've never lied, 19%, so I'm not among them. Are you?
I am not. That's never been a lie that's come to my mind. You know what I mean?
I'm working out.
I'm guilty of course, as I think all of us are making excuses
for sure.
For phone calls or text messages.
Yeah.
But working out's never the...
What's your go-to excuse?
My go-to excuse? Well, I do the classic one that plenty of people do that is, and especially in this day and age, is getting more and more hard to believe, which is, oh, sorry, I didn't have my phone on me.
Oh, mine is, oh, sorry, I was taking a nap because I'm on the shift. So
well, that a lot of times for us is true.
Yeah, that is true. All right, Dunkin is teaming up with Snoop Dogg to introduce a plant-based sandwich. It's called the Beyond Double, or D-O-double-G.
Diabetes. This is what this looks like.
So what this is, it's actually a sausage patty.
Sausage patty, but it's a Beyond Meat sausage, right? So it's not actually sausage.
Yeah, so it's a plant-based sausage patty, I guess I should say. And that's actually a donut bun. That's a no for me. And it has an egg on it, among many other things. That's a big no-no.
Honestly, I'm done with these fast food companies combining random things. Like, we've got our new quesadilla burger pizza. And you're like, why don't we just have these things separately?
Yeah, I don't get it either. It just seems like everyone's trying to find the new it thing, you know, and try something new. But I don't, no, I don't like to mix the sweet with the sour and the salty and just everything separately. Like, how about...
Well, you eat one of these, right? That's your calorie intake for the week.
For the week, yeah. I was going to say not even for the day, for the week, with a donut there and then a patty. No, this isn't... Would you ever eat... I mean, this is something you'd eat at, like, a fair, right?
I might, yeah, I might take a bite of it. You know, I'd never order it. If someone was like, oh, I got to try this new thing, I might take a bite of it, but I don't think I would ever order it to be like, all right, I got to get my breakfast sandwich for the day. Let me get a Beyond Double ODG egg.
This is not going to be the new Popeye's chicken sandwich craze.
I don't think this
so.
is going to catch on the same
No.
way.
All right. Well, we want to say good morning to Rick. Thank you so much for watching Still Up with 6. Of course, leave your comments. We talked about Houston Astros. We talked about some new dating terms in 2020. And, of course, we talked about lies and getting out of working out. And, of course, the very last thing was that donut burger.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for waking up with us here on Still Up with 6, where the conversation continues. And we will be back tomorrow morning right after the show. If you can't quite get up at 4:30 a.m. to 7, we'll be here. We'll be here to talk to you guys, to get some of your thoughts, kind of have conversations with you in real time. That is the whole idea of this after show as well.
That is right. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. on Texas Today, then Still Up with 6 right after.